Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. This month, I built another GT40 from DeAgostini Collectibles, and that would be pack number 11. I'm building stages 48 through 52. Now, if you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this car today. Get it while you can. It may not be out there forever. It's a beautiful display piece, and I'm having a blast building it. It's a lot of fun and easy to build. So, without further ado, let's get started. And welcome back. I am back with 5 more issues of the Build Your Own Ford GT, and this is the GT40 from DeAgostini Collectibles. And this is a fantastic subscription. I'm really enjoying this build. It's been a really easy build. Let's look at one of the magazines here. Let's look at the magazine for Stage 52. And in the magazine you have some wonderful articles here by DeAgostini, and this is the Ford GT Specials series. Each magazine is about 12 to 13 pages, semi-gloss pages, color and black and white photos, lots of history here, and you can see lots of fantastic illustrations and photos. Included also in each magazine are the build instructions, and we'll look at that here in a second. Wonderful there. And in this case, they show us with stage 52 the left front wheel assembly, step by step. So let me get the parts, and we'll look at everything that was included in this pack. Stage 48, I received a tire. Stage 49, a wheel. Stage 50, the other part of the wheel. Stage 51, the brake discs and caliper. And lastly, stage 52, another tire. Let's get started on stage 48. And before I begin with stage 48, I did receive a free gift with pack 11, and that is this car right here, 1/43rd scale car. It's fantastic. This represents the Ford GT MK4 number 1, the winner of Le Mans from 1967, A.J. Foyt and Dan Gurney. And you can see the close-up here. Look at that. Look at the fantastic detail here. Look at the red-colored knockoffs, the graphics, the striping. Wow, this is fantastic. What a wonderful car. Now remember, when you subscribe to this, your gifts can vary and be different. So head over there and check out what gifts you would receive if you subscribed to this build-up. It's fantastic, and I am really enjoying this so far. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and get started on stage 48. Let's go ahead and look at the step-by-step instructions for 48. And just as advertised, we received the right front tire. Very nice. So just like most of the other part work kits, we're going to have to heat up this tire in some boiling water, and I usually do that on the stove downstairs at my house. And then we're going to retrieve the part we received that we built up already in the previous stages, the subframe and the wheel, and go ahead and put the tire on top of the wheel when it's real pliable after it's been heated up, and that's what it should look like. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for stage 48. I'll take this out, we'll get a closer look at it. And here's a close-up of that tire. Very nice graphics on there. Tread pattern and the back side. So I'd need to go ahead and heat this up So I'll go ahead and go downstairs and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and I did heat it up. Went ahead and took the wheel off the suspension and chassis, and we're going to go ahead and put this on here real quick while it's hot. There we go. I just think it made it easier to do it that way. That's how that looks. I'll go ahead and put this back on the chassis, and just as I did before, we line up the notch to the caliper there, just like that, and put the screw back into it. Perfect. And the knockoff. There we go. And that's all we do for stage 48. Let's head over and do stage 49. Let's look at the step-by-step instructions for stage 49. Stage 49, I received the left front wheel outer. And there's the parts. And we just put those two parts together here. Let me get the parts and I'll be right back. And here's those parts. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. And here they are. Both are made of metal. Very nice finish. And the outer ring itself. So this is basically just going to go down on the outer ring, just like that. Get sandwiched in, and that's what that should look like. So that's all we do was stage 49. Let's head over and do stage 50. Let's look at the step-by-step instructions for stage 50. For stage 50, I received the left front wheel inner. There they are. And we'll just simply sandwich that down on top of the other part we just assembled. Let me get the parts and I'll be right back. And here's the parts for stage 50. I'll take this out. Let's get a closer look. Here's the parts. We received the knockoff, which has a magnet on the back side. It's made of plastic. And the inner wheel. So we'll go ahead and bring over what we just assembled in the previous stage, and we're going to sandwich this up against that. Press it all together. We will be installing that tire on here next. That's what that looks like. That completes stage 50. Let's go ahead and do stage 51. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 51. This time I received the left front brake. So we already assembled this once before, but these are all the parts. There you go. We install the cooling tube socket. We screw that all together. We assemble the brake disc. It's going to go on the axle. Next, to put on the brake caliper. That gets screwed down. And then they want us to put the wheel on. I'm going to hold off on the wheel because we're going to put a tire on before I reinstall that. It just makes it easier. And that's what that looks like there. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's parts pack for stage 51. I'll take this out and we'll get a closer look. FD01, FP01, FD02 screws, the brake disc itself, two halves made of plastic, suspension component here, which is the The brake backing plate, that is made of metal. The brake caliper, made of plastic. And the cooling duct, plastic also. Let's get started. First thing we do is install the cooling tube socket. You can see this is marked with an L. And it's just going to line it up. There's a cutout so it only goes on one way. FPO1 screw goes into this. That's good there. Next, we'll assemble the brake disc itself, and that's what that looks like. And it's simply going to slide over the top into some pin supports. Perfect. Just like that. Very cool. This is going to go over the top, just like that. Turn that over, bring over our brake caliper, and that's going to slide over the top, just like that, but onto that pin. And this time it's going to be an FDO1 screw. And you might want to lubricate it. There you go. That's what that looks like. Next they want us to put the wheel on, but I'm going to hold off on that until we put the tire on the wheel. And that's all I do with stage 51. I'm going to head over and do stage 52. And let's look at the final stage for pack 11, stage 52. Stage 52, we work on the left front wheel, and we receive the tire for that, and some screws. Once again, we're going to heat up that tire, gather our parts that we had from the previous installment, stage 47. And that's what that looks like there. We're going to put those all in, install that on the suspension, the spring and such. Then we're going to put the tire on the wheel, and we're going to install the wheel on the suspension. That's what it will look like there. And that's what it looks like completed. So let me get the parts and I'll be right back. And here's the parts for stage 52. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. FDO5, FDO6, and FDO7 screws. And here's our next tire. Looks very nice. Let's get started. And here's all the parts we had left over from stage 47. So we're going to be using that this time. First thing we do is we put this in here. And that's just going to go in just like that. And we'll put our other part on it. And it is keyed. There's a little keyway there. Just like that. FDO5 screw goes into that. And you can lubricate it if you want. That's good there. That's how that looks. Now I'll work on the shock assembly. So we're going to go up to the upper A-arm and we're going to put the upper part of the shock on it, just like that. And we'll put the lower part of the shock on there. A spring goes into that. We're going to squeeze this together. bring over the brake caliper, and that's going to get configured with that arm going upwards, just like on the other side. Okay, next I'll hook up the top A arm. FDO 6 screw goes into this. And that's good there. Turn this over. And the longer FDO 7 screw goes into this one. And that's what that looks like there. Okay, looks just like that. Working suspension. Very nice. And that's what that looks like overall. I'll go ahead and heat up the tire, and I'll be right back. Go ahead and install this on the rim. Better to have the rim off. There we go. And it is on the rim. Looks good. Looks great. So the tire is on there now. Now we'll go ahead and install this on the axle. Remember that the axle has a notch right there on the brake disc. We need to match that notch up with the inside of the wheel. And we'll slide that on. There it is. It's on. And we'll put our flange screw, which is a BDO2 screw, into this to secure it down. Perfect. And lastly, we'll put our knockoff on. There it is. And that completes stage 52. I'll be right back. And that completes pack 11. Had a blast building this. Obviously we have both front suspension completed here and wheels and tires mounted. Looks fantastic. If you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this card today. It's fantastic and a beautiful, beautiful display. So don't pass it up. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and please give me a thumbs up. All the thumbs ups I can get will help the algorithms and get my channel out there. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.